Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV in conjunction with Colfax High School presents Viking Pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings Girls game. And now, Viking Pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN-TV studios. Rick Olson here, and tonight the 16-6 Viking girls, who are 10-3 in the Dunn-St Croix Conference, are getting ready to wrap up their regular season as they prepare to take on the 1-21 Glenwood City Hilltoppers, who are 0-13 in conference play. Coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Hilltoppers and the Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Serrar's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, we'll send it out to Colfax High School, where we'll bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. Now, not only is tonight the final game of the regular season for the Viking girls, but it's also the final Viking girls game this season that we will bring you on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV, as we do not have the broadcast rights for the WIAA playoff games. So, it's time to get ready for some exciting high school girls basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout, and you're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame, where we're getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's girls basketball game as the Colfax Vikings prepare to do battle with the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. The 16-6 Vikings, who are 10-3 in the Dunn-St Croix Conference, are looking to build some momentum for the upcoming WIAA regionals following Monday's hard-fought 47-39 win over the Fall Creek Crickets. Now, in that victory over the Crickets, the Vikings put together a complete game that went deep into their bench against a strong Fall Creek team. Leading the way for the Vikings in that effort was the performance of 5'7" junior McKenna Shipman, who hit on 5 of 11 field goal attempts, one of which was a three-pointer, as well as going 4 for 6 from the free throw line for 15 points. 5'10" junior Jeanette Hajdukovic followed by nailing 5 of 12 field goals for 10 points, and freshman Jordan Bovey sunk 3 three-pointers for 9 points. Leading the way on the boards for the Vikings were Shipman and Hajdukovic, who each pulled down 8 rebounds. So far on the season, leading the way for the Vikings in scoring is Shipman, who's shooting at 42% from the floor and over 30% from beyond the three-point line, hitting 17 points per game. She's followed by Hajdukovic, who's averaging over 7 points per game, and 5'9" senior Ainsley Olsen adds another 6. Leading the way on the boards this season is Shipman, who's averaging nearly 7 rebounds per game, while Hajdukovic is pulling down over 6, and Olsen is grabbing over 5 rebounds per game. The Glenwood City Hilltoppers have had a tough season this year and are currently 1-21 on the season. They are also currently 0-13 in the Dunn-St Croix Conference. The Hilltoppers were last in action on Friday night when they were defeated by the Boyceville Bulldogs 44-10. Now, based on the most current limited information that we have on the Hilltoppers, look for them to be led in scoring by junior Libby Wagner and sophomore Isabel Davis, who are each putting up around 9 points per game. Sophomore Jenna McCarthy adds another 4. On the boards, the Hilltoppers are led by Davis, who's pulling down 7 rebounds per game, and Wagner grabs another 6. Thus far on the season, Glenwood City is scoring an average of 26 points per game while giving up 62. On the other hand, the Vikings are averaging 52 points per game while giving up 40. Now, coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Courtney Serrar on Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
Soon the weather will change and you'll be able to breathe in the clean fresh air of spring. And you know what comes right along with that. That's right, it will be time for Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball. Follow the Cavaliers all season long right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and NLWN-TV. Be sure to check out our website at www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for our current broadcast schedule.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Once again on Coach's Corner, we're talking with Viking girls head coach Courtney Serrar. And Coach, on Monday, the Viking girls took on and defeated a pretty good Fall Creek Crickets team, 47-39. Your comments about that game?
Yeah, I thought we played really well. We went, quite a stretch in the second half without scoring any points, but, our defense was good late. And, I thought we executed well, when we needed to at the end. I think, with about 3 minutes left, we were able to run some time off the clock and force them to foul us. And it was just, good to come out on top in one of those close games.
Now, it seems like past 3-4 games, you've run into a streak where all of a sudden the ball just won't go through the rim for you. What's happening there, and what can the girls do about it?
Sometimes that's just the way it goes. Ball doesn't go in the basket. I don't think there's, a lot that you can do. It's not like we, weren't getting good looks. I thought, we were getting some close looks at the basket, just taking that extra half second to make sure you're focused on the target. And, if we can't worry about it, so.
And the ball will fall when it's going to fall. So tonight, the Vikings are going to wrap up their regular season when they take on the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. What can you tell us about the Hilltoppers?
I don't think it's any secret that, they're struggling. I think that if we go out and play our game, we should be able to win. Most importantly, I'm hoping that we play well and end, the regular season on a high note. And, we're going to have some fun honoring, Ainsley and Molly for senior night, 2 great kids who've done, a ton for the program and for the school and have, shown exactly what it means to be a senior leader this season and leading by an example. So, looking forward to, recognizing them and, hopefully just playing well.
Now, on paper, it appears as, like you said, the Hilltoppers really shouldn't present too much of a challenge for the Vikings. But we have to remember, the games aren't played on paper. So how much of a trap game would tonight's game be if the Viking girls don't come out with focus and energy?
I always think, especially on senior night, emotions tend to run high, and especially when the girls understand, it's your last regular season home game and playoffs, start next week. So, I wouldn't be surprised if there's moments when we're not, playing well or things aren't going our way or whatever, but that's, how it is no matter what game that you're playing. So again, just have to focus on, what we do. I'm the first person to tell you I don't really care what anybody else is doing. I just want, my game plan and what the girls are doing to be consistent and then just continue to take steps in the right direction. So we are a little banged up. So hopefully we can come out of tonight, injury free.
Now, sometimes that emotion and so on that you were talking about can also work the other way, and the girls could just come out absolutely on fire and show us things that could be real fun to watch too. Now, tonight is the final game of the regular season. Maybe if you could, just reflect on some of the high points of this season for you.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot, there's been glimpses of, every game where, we've played really well, and there's been some tough moments too. So, we dropped our first game of the season against Hudson and then went on, quite a winning streak, after that. So that's definitely, a high point. I think, we've been playing our best basketball as of late. So that's good. It seems like we're, trending in the right direction when, it's important. And we've had a lot of people step up in different games, and, it's been good to see, some younger kids kind of figure out their roles as the season goes on, and how, what it means to play at the varsity level. And I've also seen, just a ton of improvement from the girls on their own individual skills, which has been, awesome to see. And I'm hoping, that we can continue doing that, and that, we're not done playing next week and we get to continue on into March. And, I know the girls feel the same way.
Well, Coach Serrar, I want to thank you for joining us all season long here on Coach's Corner. Good luck tonight, and hopefully the Vikings can cap off the regular season with a big win.
Yes, thank you.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. The 16-6 Vikings are trying to get geared up for the upcoming WIAA playoffs. Meanwhile, the Glenwood City Hilltoppers are also getting ready for those WIAA regionals, which start next Tuesday. These two teams met back on January 13th when the Vikings came out on top in that game, 65-24, and the Hilltoppers wouldn't mind showing that they're better than that score indicates. So the stage is set for some exciting high school girls basketball, and we'll have all the action for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Now, tonight's Viking girls game will be the last game of the 2022-2023 season that we here at the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV will be able to bring to you, as we do not have the broadcast rights for the WIAA playoffs. The Vikings will open their WIAA regional play next week on Friday when they host the winner of Tuesday's game between Cumberland and Unity. That game will be carried on Viking TV, and Dan and I will bring you the play-by-play. It will just be on Viking TV. Now, in just a minute, we'll send it out to Colfax High School, where our broadcast crew will bring you all the action of tonight's girls' game between the Colfax Vikings and the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2 are proud to announce that this spring they will be your viewing home for Eau Claire Cowboys football. Check out www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for times and dates. That's Eau Claire Cowboy football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-2.
You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Vikings girls game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball.
It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Slaton's Technology Services can help when your computer decides to not cooperate. It can be very frustrating. Let Slayton's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Slayton's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Slayton's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Slayton's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Colfax Viking Basketball is on the air.
And the long pass down and in by Hajdukovic.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV proudly presents tonight's Colfax Viking Girls Varsity Basketball game.
Long pass down the floor to Olsen. She stops, puts it up, she hit it!
Join us as we head out to the gym for tonight's Viking basketball.
This gets it over to the left side to Shipman, three-pointer. She hit it! McKenna Shipman with the three puts the Vikings on top 3-2. Good evening and welcome to Colfax High School. Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow, Jeff Gust on the camera, and we're getting ready to bring you Colfax High School girls basketball. Final regular season game of the season. That sounded redundant again and again, didn't it? But anyway, it's the last regular season game this year, and we're excited to be able to bring it to you. We've been excited to have you with us all season long. Dan, it's been quite the haul.
Yeah, seen lots of basketball this season. The highs, the lows, different schools, different hot dogs.
I was just going to say different hot dogs.
Yeah, so one game left. Here come the playoffs.
That's right. In fact, since we do have one game left, by the way, the Vikings come into this game with an overall record of 16-6 or 10-3 in the Dunn-St. Croix Conference. And the Glenwood City Hilltoppers, they've been struggling this year. They're 1-21 on the season, 0-13 in the conference. And Dan, why don't you let us know who's going to play in tonight's game?
Yeah, here's the starters for the Hilltoppers. They're going to go with freshman number 4, Opal Volts, 5'8" junior number 5, Libby Wagner, junior number 12, Michaela Blazer, sophomore number 24, Jenna McCarthy, and sophomore number 52, Isabel Davis. For the Colfax Vikings, they're going to go with 5'6" sophomore number 4, Kason Goodell, 5'6" senior number 10, Molly Hydorn, 5'9" senior number 14, Ainsley Olsen, 5'10" junior number 40, Jeanette Hajdukovic, and 5'7" junior number 42, McKenna Shipman.
And I guess we should mention that tonight is senior night here at Colfax High School, so there will be a recognition of the Viking seniors. There are only 2 of them on this year's roster, Molly Hydorn and Ainsley Olsen, but they'll be recognized following tonight's game, and we'll make sure we bring that to you. Don't forget that tonight's Colfax High School basketball game is brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital. Let Dr. Buckley and his friendly staff take care of your pet. Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for Western Wisconsin. Anderson Bridges, who have been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's Technology, IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax, comfort food the way Mom used to make it. And Fit Fam Nutrition of Colfax, with drinks that taste as good as the name sounds, plus they're healthy. So be sure to thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV. Teams are heading over to the bench, and we'll be back right after this quick timeout as you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
If you have a high-deductible health plan, opening a health savings account at Dairy State Bank will allow you to save tax-free dollars to pay for a long list of health-related services allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. You can use a debit card or check to pay for expenses and access your account through online or mobile banking. Visit DairyStateBank.com to learn more about HSAs and online or mobile banking. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
We're back here at Colfax High School, and I was just talking with Dan. We were hearing the music coming over the PA system, and it's one of the same songs that on our audio service we play just before we go live with our broadcasts, and it had me a little confused there for a minute. Now we're going to send it down courtside, and members of the Viking or Colfax chorus for our national anthem.
Would everyone please stay at the table, remove your hats, and place your hand over your heart onto the flag, as the national anthem is sung by members of the Colfax High School Choir.
Oh, sing, can you sing by the dawn's early light? What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets spread where the bells were singing air, gave proof through the yard that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
The national anthem being presented by the Colfax High School Choir, and we'll send it back down courtside for the starting lineups of tonight's game, at least their version of it.
Welcome to Colfax High School and senior night for tonight's Dunn-St girls basketball matchup. We have City Hilltoppers. Colfax Vikings. Introducing starters for the Hilltoppers. Number 4 freshman Bolts. And now the starting lineup for your Colfax Vikings.
And there's your starting lineups from the scorers table. And again, as the Glenwood City Hilltoppers come out on the floor, they're being led by Volts, Wagner, Blazer, McCarthy, and Davis. And in the center circle is Isabel Davis. She'll be jumping. And for the Vikings, once they come out on the floor, we'll have Goodell, Hydorn, Olson, Hajdukovic, and Shipman. And we're hoping that Jada Anderson, the 5'7 junior, will be eligible come tournament time. She's still in concussion protocol, but she seems to be doing pretty well, and hopefully she'll be good to go come tournament play. Ainsley Olsen steps into the center circle, and we're getting ready to get this one underway. The official goes in, ball goes up, and the tip is controlled by the Hilltoppers. It's Volts with it, gets it over to Wagner, then to Blazer, back out to Wagner, over to Volts on the right side, back to Wagner, top of the key, to Volts, then down into the corner, back out to Volts, and then to Wagner, down underneath to Davis. Davis turnaround, jump shot, no good. Rebound taken down by Goodell, but she got tied up right away. Possession arrow in favor of the Vikings. Shipman to inbound and gets it to Hydorn. Molly Hydorn, one of the 2 seniors on the Viking roster. To Hajdukovic, to Shipman. On the left side to Hajdukovic in the lane, putting it up, and it got blocked by Davis. And down the floor come the Hilltoppers. This is Blazer, gets it over to Wagner. Wagner at the top of the key. Pulls up from the elbow, shots up, it's no good. Rebound taken down by Goodell for the Vikings, and here they come down the floor. Goodell on the left side, gets it out to Shipman from 3, no. Rebound chased down by Hydorn. Back out to Shipman at the top of the key. Over to the left side to Hajdukovic, out to Olsen, over to Hydorn, to Goodell, to Shipman, who driving in the lane, puts it up and in, and the first 2 points of the game belong to the Vikings. 2-0. And we're gonna get a foul called on Olsen. She threw a little hip into Wagner as Wagner was trying to dribble around the corner. Wagner comes up with a little bit of a hitch in her giddy up there. You ought to understand that, Dan. That's horse term, right?
Yeah, that was just a little hip check there.
Okay. Yeah, that's between a hockey and a horse term. Yeah. The hip check led to a hitch in her giddy up. Wagner has it. She takes it still in the backcourt. Vikings putting on some pressure. Wagner gets it across the timeline, loses the handle. Ball's loose on the floor. Diving for it is Hydorn, and we got a jump ball. Possession arrow in favor of the Hilltoppers right now. Into the lineup is Emma Blyes. I think it's Blyes. Feed it over to the right side to McCarthy. Then they get it to Blazer. Back out high. Now Blyes has it. Feeds it over to McCarthy. Puts it up, no good. Rebound. Chased down. It goes out of bounds. Viking ball. Two to nothing. Vikings on top. 16:09 to go in the first half. Hydorn brings it across the timeline. Feeds it over to the right side to Shipman. Back out high to Hajdukovic at the top of the key. Feeds it into the lane to Olsen. Hook shot goes up and in. Ainsley Olsen makes it 4-0 for the Vikings. McCarthy with it in the backcourt, and we're going to get a foul on Olsen again, I think. Nope.
42.
It's going to be a foul on Shipman. Vikings throwing a little body in now, and they've been called for it twice. Ball comes out high to Blyes. And then over to Blazer. Back to Blyes. She stops in the lane, gets it out to McCarthy on the right side. To Davis, trying to get a move on and couldn't, and the Vikings come away with it. Shipman feeds it down to Goodell, lays it up and in. Case and Goodell. 6-0 Vikings on top. Blyes with it. Feeds it over to Volts. Back out high to Blyes. And then they get it down underneath to Davis. Shot goes up, no good. Rebound chased down by Hydorn. Hydorn brings it down the floor through the C in the center of the court. Over to the right side. Getting it out to Hajdukovic in the right corner. Back out high to Olsen. To Shipman. Turnaround jumper in the lane. Puts it up and in. 8-0 Vikings on top. 14:48 to go. McCarthy with it. Gets it to Blyes. Blyes on the left side. Gets it out to Volts. Volts at the top of the key. Over to Blazer. High wide and right. She drives down, puts it up, no good. Blythe with an attempted putback block by Olsen. Down the floor comes Goodell. Goodell stops, pulls up, gets it to Olsen. Three-pointer on the way, and it's good! Ainsley Olsen with the three, and we're going to have Glenwood City want to talk about this and take a timeout as the Vikings go ahead 11-0 with 14:20 to go. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV. Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Bruce Buckley is just what the doctor ordered. In fact, he is the doctor, and he's ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
Glenwood City inbounds the ball. Four-court pressure being put on by the Vikings. And Blythe loses the handle. Shipman picks it up, lays it up, and it's good. 13-0, Vikings on top. Hilltoppers with it. Blythe loses her footing. Ball goes out of bounds, and it'll be Viking ball. Brooklyn Bright into the lineup for the Hilltoppers. Hydorn with it, out high. Feeds it over to Keltner, high, wide, and right. Back over to Hydorn, three-pointer on the way from the left side, and it's good! Molly Hydorn with a three. And we're going to get a travel call being called on Blazer. She started going before she put the ball to the floor. It's like she hesitated. She was going to pass it, then decided to try to dribble, but her feet were already moving. And Dan, you can't do that.
Yeah, good defensive start for Colfax.
16-0, Vikings on top. Hajdukovic gets it over to Goodell. Three-pointer on the way, off the rim, no good. Nigaman with the rebound. Gets it over to Hydorn, drives into the lane, kicks it out to Hajdukovic. And Hajdukovic took an extra step. So the Hilltoppers will have it. Wagner brings it down the floor, dishes it off to McCarthy, comes across the timeline, down into the right corner to Bright, back out high to Davis, and then over to Oman. Down underneath to Bright, tries to put a shot up, is blocked by Nigaman, and coming away with it is Goodell for the Vikings. She feeds it over to the left side to Hydorn, drives to the free throw line, pulls up in the lane, shot goes up and good! 18-0, Vikings on top. Wagner across the timeline. Oman with it, feeds it into the lane to Davis, comes out. Shot was by McCarthy, no good. Rebound coming away with it is Goodell. She comes down the right side, drives to the lane, puts it up and in. 20-0, Vikings on top. 12:32 to go. Shot goes up, no good. And we're going to get a foul on Davis. She didn't seem to know what she did, but Goodell hit the floor. That'll be the first foul on the Hilltoppers. First foul on Davis. Vikings have 2 fouls on them. Goodell across the timeline. Slides over to the right side, feeds it over to the left to Shipman. Shipman at the top of the key. Gets it to Keltner on the right, into the lane to Olsen, lays it up, it doesn't go. She had a chance at the ball, and it's knocked out of bounds, evidently last touched by the Hilltoppers. Goodell looking, Gets it into Olsen in the lane. She puts it up, and it's good. That's 7 points for Ainsley Olsen tonight. And down the floor come the Hilltoppers. McCarthy with it, feeds it over to the right side to Oman. Back out high. That's Wagner to Davis in the lane. Turn around, put it up. No, ball gets tipped around, taken down by Keltner. Keltner feeds it over to Goodell. Goodell down the floor to Olsen, all alone underneath, and she missed the layup. Ball gets knocked out of bounds by Bright, so the Vikings will retain possession. Ainsley Olsen kicking herself for that one. She had a wide open layup. She gets the pass in, three-pointer from the right side. It's off the iron, no good. Rebound taken down by Goodell to Keltner, to Shipman. Top of the key, feeds it into the lane to Goodell. She went up, she got fouled on the way up, and I think they got Davis. I think Davis got her as she was driving through.
25.
Nope, 52.
Oh, 52.
You read it backwards. We're on the other side of the gym.
That's right.
That is Isabel Davis. Free throw is up and good by Kaysen Goodell. It's 5 points for Kaysen. $11:27 to go in the first half. Second shot is up and good. And down the floor come the Hilltoppers. They get it out to the top of the key to Wagner. And then the ball gets taken away by the Vikings. Goodell with it between the circles. Feeds it into the lane to Keltner. Out to Olsen. Three-pointer on the way. No. Rebound taken down by Goodell. They get it out to Nigaman. Back to Goodell. To Shipman. Shipman turns, tries to drive into the lane. They're going to get a jump ball called. A couple of Hilltoppers had their hand on top of the ball and forced it back to the floor with Shipman, and Vikings have possession. Keltner passes it in to Shipman, cutting through the lane, and it's 26-0. Vikings on top. Wagner feeds it into the lane, going up with a shot, and getting fouled is Michaela Blazer. That's going to be a foul on Autumn Nigaman. It's her third team foul on the Vikings. First shot is up and good. So Glenwood City finally stops the streak. It's now 26-1. So a 26-point run for the Vikings. And the second shot is up and good. Goodell across the timeline, top of the key, feeds it over to the right side to Keltner, down into the right corner to Nigaman. To Olsen, driving in the lane, she lays it up and in. And the Hilltoppers come back down the floor. Libby Wagner on the dribble. Feeds it into the lane. Shot goes up by Blazer, it's no good. Nigaman with the rebound. Gets it to Shipman, out to Goodell across the timeline. Goodell on the left side to Shipman. Drives into the lane. Feeds it underneath to Goodell, and it's good. Hilltoppers sagged out on Shipman and left a wide open path for Goodell to drive that left baseline, and Shipman found her and they laid it in. 30-2, Vikings on top. On the left side is Wagner, and then they get it back over to the right side. Losing the handle and dribbling it out of bounds is Emma Blyes. Hydorn with the ball. Coming across the timeline. 9:43 to go in the first half. Olsen has it on the left side. Feeds it underneath to Hajdukovic, who lays it up and in. First 2 points of the night for Jeanette Hajdukovic. Hilltoppers have it over on the right side. Ball goes off the leg of a Viking and right back to the Hilltoppers. This is Loggy with the ball. Ball gets knocked out of bounds by the Vikings, and the Hilltoppers will have it. Loggy inbounds it to Wagner. Wagner over to the left side. That's Blythe. Now they get it down underneath. That was a shot by Blazer, partially blocked. Olsen took it, got it to Hydorn, and Hydorn across the timeline. 32-2, Vikings on top. Keltner with it on the right side, gets it to Hajdukovic. Hook shot no good, rebound put back by Shipman is no good. Hajdukovic gets it to Shipman, and Shipman got fouled. This will be the third foul on Glenwood City. It'll be on the floor. Foul is on Michaela Blazer. It's her first. Quite a few substitutes right now for Glenwood City. Vikings to inbound the ball. They get it into Olsen, gets it out to Hydorn. To Keltner, then underneath to Hajdukovic, who overlaid it. And the Hilltoppers come down. And we're going to get a whistle and a foul on Olsen. That's her second, fourth team foul on the Vikings. Nigaman comes right back into the game, giving Olsen a chance to take a rest. Hilltoppers try to inbound it, but the ball stolen by Shipman. Shipman down the floor on the right side, drives into the lane, gets it to Hajdukovic, who puts it up and off the glass and in. 34-2, Vikings up. Oman with it, get back out to the top of the key to McCarthy. Over to Wagner, and now they swing it around to Volts. Down low to Oman, and now they get it over to the right side. Three-pointer goes up and in by Wagner. Libby Wagner with the three, 34-5. Hydorn with it, puts up a three, she hit it! Molly Hydorn from right outside the arc. 37-5. Hilltoppers with it on the left side. Now they swing it around, back out high to Wagner. Over to Volts on the left side. Back over to Wagner. Now to the right side. That's Class. And she gets it over to Ullman. Back out to Wagner. Wagner drives towards the lane. Puts it up, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul on the floor before the... No, they're saying she was shooting. Foul's going to be on on Shipman. It's her second. 15 foul on the Vikings. First shot by Wagner is good. Libby Wagner with the shot. She's got 3. Second shot on the way. It's also good. And we have Goodell coming in for Shipman. Hydorn brings the ball down the floor for the Vikings. 7:14 remaining in the first half. Keltner with it on the right side. Back over to the left side to Goodell, to Nigaman on the right. Down into the right corner to Keltner, to Hajdukovic, who lays it up off the glass, and it's good. 39-7. Vikings by 32. Hilltoppers, McCarthy has it, gets it out to Volts, to Wagner. Over to Oman. Back out to Wagner, puts it up from the free throw line, no good, gets her own rebound, puts it up, no good. Nigaman with the rebound for the Vikings, gets it over to Hydorn. And the Vikings come back down the floor. Across the timeline. Keltner. To Nigaman. Now they feed into the lane to Goodell, cutting through the lane, and it's 41-7. 10 points for Goodell in the first half. Hilltoppers over on the right side. Now back out to the top of the key to Oman.
Now working the right side. Oman now has it by the left elbow. Pass in toward the lane. Not handled well by Wagner, and then got tied up down by the feet of Hajdukovic. Possession arrow in favor of the Hilltoppers. Hilltoppers get it into Wagner, then back underneath to McCarthy. She turns around to put it up, and it went out of bounds. Vikings ball. Hydorn with it. Hydorn at the top of the key. Feeds it over to Hajdukovic on the left side, down into the left corner to Keltner, back out to Hajdukovic, to Nigaman at the free throw line. Back over to Keltner, to Hydorn. From the free throw line, gets it out to Hajdukovic, to Nigaman on the right side. Then to Hydorn. Hydorn back out high. Vikings very content to work on their ball handling right now. 41-7, they're on top. 5:23 to go in half number one. Hydorn with it, high, wide, and left. Takes it to the top of the key, over to Nigaman on the right, to Goodell, back out to Nigaman, over to the left side to Keltner, to Hydorn. Hydorn drives to the lane, back out high, shot from three is no good by Goodell, and the Hilltoppers come away with it. Volts with it, feeds it over to the right side to Wagner. Wagner tries to pass it back out to the free throw line to McCarthy. She gets it back out to the top of the key to Volts, to Wagner. Wagner tries to feed it to McCarthy, but the ball gets intercepted by the Vikings. Goodell with it, gets it to Hydorn, over to the right side to Keltner. Keltner to Hajdukovic. Hajdukovic to Nigaman, back out to Hajdukovic. Now they swing it over to the right side to Hydorn, to Keltner in the right corner. Back out high to Nigaman. Nigaman getting tied up, and the elbows went flying, and we're going to get the foul called on Jenna McCarthy, and I think she got the worst of it. I think she got an elbow in the brisket. Yeah, Autumn's make sure she protects that ball, and sometimes an elbow can get it.
Autumn is tenacious.
She is.
So the Vikings have the ball. Nigaman has it on the right side, feeds it to Keltner. Then back out high to Goodell, over to Hydorn on the left, to Hajdukovic in the left corner. She dribbles it back out high to Keltner at the top of the key, to Nigaman on the right. To Goodell. Goodell brings it back out high, feeds it over to the left side to Hydorn, takes it in the lane, then to Goodell, goes in, puts it up and got fouled. I think they got Blythe with it. Nope, I am wrong. That's a foul on Isabel Davis. That's her third. 15 foul. And Goodell at the line for two. First shot's on the way. It's good. Second shot on the way. Rattles around and out. Coming down the floor is Blazer. She feeds it off to the right side. Then they get it back out high, and that's to Loggy. And the ball gets taken away by Keltner. Hydorn has it, coming right through the center circle. Takes it right into the lane, lays it up, and she puts it home. 44-7. And down the floor come the Hilltoppers. This is Blythe. They get it over to the right side to Loggy. She's by the elbow, on the right elbow. They get it back out high, then over to Class. And back down into the right corner. That was Blythe with it. Tries to feed it in, and we get a whistle and a foul. Foul's going to be on Hajdukovic. It's her first. 16 foul on the Vikings, so the Hilltoppers will go into the bonus. Inbound pass gets knocked away, but picked up by Loggy. She's got it on the right wing. They get it to Blazer at the free throw line. Then out high, that's
Caress. And then to Blythe. Feeding it over to Loggy on the right side. Tries to feed it toward the lane. Ball gets tapped out, and Loggy picks it up, then tries the bounce pass over to Blythe, and it goes out of bounds. It'll be Vikings ball. 2:42 remaining. And down the floor come the Vikings. Hydorn with it. They get it over to Goodell, and then to Nigaman. To Hydorn, to Hajdukovic on the left. Back out high. Nigaman has it now on the left side. Out to Hydorn, over to Hajdukovic. From the baseline, Keltner puts it up and hits it. About a 10-foot jump shot from the baseline. Gives Keltner her first 2 points of the night. Blythe with it. She has it high, wide, and right. Then to Loggy. Now they feed it into the lane, and the shot goes up by Blazer is no good. Hydorn with it. Feeds it over to the right side. This is Goodell. Out to Nigaman on the left. To Hajdukovic. Back out to Nigaman. To Hydorn. On the right side now to Goodell. She dribbles it back out high. Gets it to Nigaman. Over to Hajdukovic. On the left side to Nigaman. To Hydorn to Goodell. Under a minute and a half to go. Back out high to Hydorn to Hajdukovic to Nigaman. To Hajdukovic on the left side. Takes it to the top of the key. Over to Hydorn on the right side to Goodell in the right corner. She dribbles back out high. Gets it to Hydorn. To Nigaman. To Hajdukovic. Back to Nigaman. To Goodell between the circles. Coming up on a minute to go in the half. Vikings working on that ball handling. Hajdukovic with it. Goodell in the right corner. Gets it back out between the circles to Nigaman. To Keltner. To Goodell. To Hydorn. Under a minute to go. Feed it to Hajdukovic. Back over to Goodell. To Nigaman. To Keltner. To Hydorn. 46-7, Vikings on top. It's over on the left side now to Hajdukovic. The Vikings working a really nice job of ball handling and just passing the ball. Nigaman with it, gets it over to Hydorn. Between the circles, 15 seconds. Coming up on 10. Hydorn out to Nigaman. To Goodell, drives into the lane, gets it out. To Hydorn, puts up the shot, off the iron, no good, and we have reached halftime. So it's halftime, and the score, Vikings 46, the Glenwood City Hilltoppers 7. Coming up, we have Viking halftime, and our Viking profile will be Jada Anderson today. And you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
To get your lawn or garden to perform like you want, you first need to know about your soil. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
Time now for Viking Halftime, with today's Viking profile and other halftime entertainment. That's coming up right after this.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're going to talk to Jada Anderson, who's a junior here at Colfax High School. And Jada, we know that you play basketball, or we wouldn't be standing right here. But are there any other things that keep you occupied here at school?
Yeah, I play volleyball and softball too.
Okay, and how was that volleyball season?
It was good. It was really fun.
You had a good time?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of an experience has that been for you?
I started in 3rd or 4th grade, and it was really fun, but I took my freshman year off, but then I came back sophomore year, and it was really fun again. So.
Okay, and that's important. You're finding the fun again. All right. So what's the most important thing that you've learned playing basketball?
Kind of like teamwork and like getting close to your teammates makes like a good team.
Okay. So when you're not playing basketball or you're not here at school, what are some other things that keep you interested or occupied?
I play club volleyball and travel softball, so I'm kind of playing sports all year round.
There you go. Okay. So here's a few rapid fire questions for you. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Ice cream cake.
Ice cream cake. Okay, combining 2 into 1. Way to go. Your favorite color and why?
Purple, and I just think it's a really pretty color.
Okay. If you could have a superpower, what do you think your superpower might be?
Probably to read minds.
Oh, that could be fun. What am I thinking right now? All right, if you have the superpower to be able to read minds, of course you have to have a superhero name to go with it. So what's Jada Anderson's superhero name?
Jedi Jada.
Jedi Jada. And the Jedi read minds, didn't they? Yeah, okay. All right. Did you have a favorite NBA or WNBA team?
I like the Bucks and the Warriors.
Okay. And how about a favorite collegiate team?
I don't really know.
Okay, that's all right. Is there any basketball player that you know of, any age group, who's inspired the way you play your game?
I guess I just liked watching like everybody when I was in middle school, like the high school team. They really made it look like a lot of fun on the court. So. Okay, all right. That's very legitimate. So we're talking with Jada Anderson today on Viking Profile. And Jada, what are your plans for after high school? I'm hoping to play volleyball in college, and yeah. Okay. And how about a shout out to the family? I want to thank my mom and dad for letting me play sports and club teams with all the money that comes with it, and my sisters for showing up to my games. All right. Now, when people come to Viking games and they want to find Jada Anderson on the floor, what number are they going to look for, and where on the floor are they going to find you? Number 32, new one this year, and I don't really know. Like, I usually play like the 3 spot, I guess. So. Okay. All right, we want to thank Jada Anderson for joining us today on Viking Profile, and coming up next is more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
not okay to drive?
YGKLVW. Regular you.
Jason, let's go see your room.
No, that's not right. How was it? Is it good?
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's Viking game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter what you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Well, welcome back to Colfax High School. We're getting ready to start the second half of senior night here at Colfax High School, where the Vikings are leading the Glenwood City Hilltoppers 46-7. Dan just got back. He is a big winner tonight. He won the 50-50. And just out of curiosity, Dan, how much was in that pot?
All right, so I put in 5 and I won 11.
So you won $6.
$6.
All right. Dan is the big winner tonight. All right. So, now that you got back, why don't you tell us how we got to this 46-7 score?
Yeah, here's the scores right now for the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. They're led by number 5, Libby Wagner. She has 5 points. And Michaela Blazer has 2 points. For the Colfax Vikings, they're led right now by number 4, Kason Goodell. She's got 11. Molly Hydorn has 10. Ainsley Olsen has 9. McKenna Shipman has 8. And Jeanette Hajdukovic has 6. 46-7.
That's how we got 46-7. And I was talking with Ainsley's dad just a moment ago, and he was kind of laughing at her for missing a wide open layup down there. And he said, you know, if she does that again, I'm not going to let her play basketball next year. Well, she's a senior, Dan.
That's right. Yeah,
he did have a twinkle in his eye as he said it.
Yeah, Colfax has had their opportunities inside tonight, and their tough defense there in the first half
It was really very difficult for Glenwood City to even get a shot away.
Yeah, they're trying to move the ball inside, but good job by Autumn Nigaman, Hajdukovic, and Ainsley Olsen to kind of shut them down on the inside.
Vikings starting 5 back on the floor, and I'm looking, and I think it's the starting 5 for the Hilltoppers. It is. Vikings to inbound the ball, and Hydorn has it between the circles. Takes it over to the right side. Vikings now moving from right to left, feeding it to Olsen, back out to Goodell, to Hajdukovic. Back out, and the Vikings still just working the ball to Olsen, to Hajdukovic at the top of the key. Over to the right side to Hydorn. Hydorn gets it out to Olsen. Over to Goodell. Goodell back over to Hydorn on the right side, down into the right corner to Shipman. Shipman to Olsen. Over to Goodell on the left. To Shipman at the free throw line. Back out to Olsen on the right, free throw line extended. To Goodell. Then to Hydorn, to Hajdukovic, to Shipman. Ball got knocked away by Wagner. Shipman chased it down, gets it to Hajdukovic. Back out to Olsen, over to Goodell. Goodell over to Hydorn, to Hajdukovic. Hajdukovic to Shipman, to Olsen. Olsen drives in the lane, lays it up, and has it go through. I guess her dad would let her play basketball after that, but she's a senior.
11 points for Olsen, and she did draw the harm, so she's going to the line for one. The foul was on Libby Wagner. It's her first team foul on the Hilltoppers in the second half. And the free throw is up and no good. 48-7, Vikings on top. Down the floor comes Blazer on the left side, feeds it over to Volts, over to Wagner on the right. Wagner back over to Blazer, and the pass gets intercepted by Shipman. Tries to get it over to Hydorn, who bats it back over to Olsen, then to Goodell, over to the right side to Shipman. Back out high to Hydorn, to Hajdukovic, to Goodell, to Olsen, to Shipman on the right, to Hydorn, back out high to Goodell, to Hajdukovic, on the right side to Olsen, high, wide, and right. Drives to the free throw line, gets it out to Hydorn, and over to Goodell. On the left side to Hydorn, to Shipman, puts up the three. No, it doesn't go, and down the floor come the Hilltoppers. They've got it over on the right side. This is Wagner, tries to feed it into the lane to McCarthy, putting up the shot. It's no good, but she got fouled. Jenna McCarthy going to go to the line. Foul is on Goodell. It's her first team foul on the Vikings. Jenna McCarthy shooting two. First one on the way. It's good. And the Vikings have a hockey line change going on here. 5 in, 5 out. So the starters all take a seat. McCarthy with her second shot. It's on the way. It's good. 48-9, Vikings up by 39. Jordan Bovey with it, feeds it over to Keltner on the near side. Now it's over to Nigaman on the far side. To Bovey. She dribbles it out, high, wide, and right. Then to Sierra Shipman. Also in the lineup is Bryn Sikora. Keltner with it to Shipman. This is Sierra. To Jordan Bovey. Now they feed it over to the right side. Now back over to the left side. Sikora with it. Back out high to Bovey. Feeding it over to the right side to Sikora, who lays it up and in. Bryn Sikora with her first two of the night. McCarthy with it. She's got it between the circles for the Hilltoppers. Takes it over to the right side. Got it over to Blazer. This is Morgan Blazer's out on the floor now. Wagner tries to put it up. Shot got blocked by Bovey, and Bovey has the ball. And she brings it down across the timeline. Feeds it over to the right side to Sikora. Back out to Nigaman at the top of the key. Feeds it into the lane to Shipman. Back out high. Three-pointer no good by Keltner. Rebound taken down by the Vikings, and Sikora can't keep it in bounds. And so the Hilltoppers will have it. Wagner with it for the Hilltoppers. Across the timeline. She feeds it over to the right side. That's Morgan Blazer. Tries to feed it into the lane. Passes intercepted by Nigaman. She gets it to Jordan Bovey. And now Keltner has it. Then to Sikora. To Bovey on the right side. To Shipman down in the right corner. Back out high to Keltner. Over to Nigaman on the left side. To Sikora. The left wing. Nigaman has it between the circles, tries to feed into the lane. Pass gets loose, gets saved in by the Vikings. Keltner with a three on the way. She hit the three! Meadow Keltner hit the three-pointer. 5 points for Keltner. And the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Glenwood City's ball. 53-9, Vikings on top. Hilltoppers inbound it. Wagner has it on the left side. Tries to put the shot up. It's way short. Shipman with the rebound. And down the floor comes Bovey on the dribble. Jordan Bovey feeds it over to the left side. To Sikora, back to Keltner, then to Shipman, then to Bovey, back out to Nigaman, to Sikora, to Keltner, to Bovey, to Nigaman, to Keltner, then over to Sikora, to Nigaman, to Bovey, to Sikora, at the top of the key over to Keltner, on the left side, to Bovey, to Nigaman, and then over to the right side to Sikora. Shot goes up by Shipman, no good. Rebound taken down by Davis for the Hilltoppers. Vikings getting ready for another hockey line change. And the shot goes up and good by Isabel Davis for the Hilltoppers. 53-11, Vikings on top. You know, Dan, it's too bad they can't do the hockey line change the way they do in hockey, where they just come flying in and flying out. Instead, they're all patiently waiting in front of the scorer's table. Nigaman has it at the top of the key. They get it over to the left side. Keltner has it in the corner, gets it back out high to Sikora. Over to the right side is Nigaman. Down to Bowie, back out to Nigaman, to Sikora on the left. Back out between the circles to Bovey. Now Nigaman puts up a three. No, it's off the front of the iron. And down the floor come the Hilltoppers. Wagner with it. Feeding it down to Davis. Puts up the shot. No good. Rebound, and we're going to get a jump ball called. Possession arrow in the favor of the Hilltoppers. 5 in, 5 out for the Vikings. And we have a timeout being called by the Hilltoppers. So timeout on the floor. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax has just what you need when you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it. Mom's is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily and until 9 on Fridays with a complete breakfast menu. Lunch includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, and burgers, along with Mom's comfort food favorites, and don't forget dinner on Fridays with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee always hot, the breakfast always delicious, and lunch puts a smile on your face. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
Back here at Colfax High School, Rick Olson, Dan Petchow, Jeff Gus bringing this one to you. Hilltoppers turn around, put it up by Davis. Shot's no good. It goes out of bounds, and the Vikings will have it. Hydorn across the timeline. Between the circles, gets it over to Goodell, to Olson. Over to Hajdukovic. Back over to Goodell. Just shading to the right side to Shipman, out to Olson, to Hydorn. Drives into the lane, kicks it back out to Goodell, to Hajdukovic, to Olson. Cutting down, she puts it up and in, and drew the harm. Ainsley Olson with the layup, and the foul is going to be on Devin Olson. No relation. Yeah, good ball movement by Colfax there. Just kept moving and moving until they brought Ainsley down the paint and got the end one.
Guess we call that Olson on Olson crime, right?
Yeah, right.
Free throw is up and good. Ainsley now with 14 points on the night. McCarthy with it. Feeds it over to the right side, and Blazer has it. back out high. This is Oman, and she got called for a travel. She did a little hesitation as she got about where the free throw line was and shuffled her feet in the process. So the Vikings bring it down the road. That's one of those where it's actually the defense causing that. The defense made her think that, I can't do what I intended, and then the feet move. Olsen with it, gets it over to Hajdukovic. Hajdukovic takes it to the elbow on the left side. Now they swing it over to the right side to Hydorn. Back out to Olsen between the circles. Over to the left side to Hajdukovic. Trying to feed it to Goodell. Pass was a little bit off down by her feet. We're going to get a whistle and a jump ball. Possession arrow in favor of the Vikings. Shipman going to inbound. Ball comes into Hajdukovic to Shipman. Shipman feeds it to Hajdukovic underneath, and she lays it up and in. Jeanette Hajdukovic with the 2. That's 8 points for Hajdukovic tonight. They get the ball out to Blazer. Hilltoppers do. Then over to Davis on the right side. Back out high to Oman. Then to McCarthy, drives into the lane, gets it back out to Davis. 12-footer's no good. Rebound taken down by Olsen. She's fighting for it and gets it over to Hydorn. Hydorn with it at the top of the key, gets it over to the left side to Goodell. Goodell feeds it over to Hydorn on the right. Back out to Olsen at the top of the key, over to Hajdukovic on the left side. Feeds it into the lane to Goodell, tries to put it up, but she got fouled. She found some room underneath below the defense, and as she went up, Jenna McCarthy grabbed her arm on the way up. So Goodell goes to the line for 2. First shot's up, and it's good. 59-11. My guess is that in about 9 seconds, we're going to start going with a running clock. Second shot is up. It's no good. Rebound comes down to the Hilltoppers. They get it over to McCarthy. Then back to Davis at the free throw line. She sunk it. Nice shot by Isabel Davis. 59-13. We're under 9 minutes to go. Vikings with the ball. Hydorn over to Hajdukovic on the left side to Olsen in the left corner. Drives the baseline. Gets it back out to Hajdukovic. Back out to Hydorn, over to the right side to Goodell, to Olsen in the right corner. Olsen out to the free throw line to Goodell, to Hajdukovic, to Hydorn on the left baseline. Back out high to Shipman. Shipman into the lane, pull-up jumpers, no good. Rebound taken down by the Hilltoppers. 59-13, Vikings on top. Davis takes it to the lane, then gets it back out to Loggy. Loggy back to Davis, shot goes up, no good. Rebound taken down by Hajdukovic, and long pass down to Olsen. Back out to Goodell, to Hydorn. Three-pointer by Shipman is up, no good. Rebound by Hajdukovic, put back is good. Jeanette Hajdukovic with 10 points on the night. That's 4 Vikings in double digits. Wagner with it, tries to, or checked that wasn't Wagner, that was McCarthy. Tried to go up and couldn't. And then we get a foul called. And Vikings do both teams pretty much do a hockey line change. So Nigaman is going to inbound the ball. We are in running time. To Jordan Bovey, feeding it over to the left side, now back over to Sikora on the right. To Nigaman in the right corner, comes out to the right wing, tries to feed it to Shipman. She taps it back out to Bovey, over to Keltner on the left, to Sikora. Sikora dribbles it back out high, feeds it over to Nigaman on the right, to Keltner. Over to Bovey, three-pointer on the way, she hit the three! Jordan Bovey with a three-pointer. 64-13, Vikings on top. Just over 6.5 remaining. Olsen with it. That's the Hilltoppers, Olsen. They get it over to Morgan Blazer, and then they feed it down the left side of the lane. Wagner had it, goes to the floor, and we're going to get a jump ball called. Possession arrow in favor of the Hilltoppers. Inbounding the ball is Caress. Feeds it in to Devin Olsen, puts it up and good. Devin Olsen with the 2. And down the floor come the Vikings. Bovey with it, feeds it over to the right side to Nigaman. To Sikora. Back out to Nigaman, feeding in the lane to Bovey. Bovey over to Shipman. Her shot's no good, but the Vikings tap the ball out high and they have it back. Sikora with it, over to Keltner. Then on the left side now to Bovey. Back out high to Nigaman. Then to Sikora. Sikora on the dribble, down on the right corner. She takes it back out high, wide and right. Over to Nigaman at the top of the key. To Keltner, down low on the left side. Back out high to Bovey. Just over 5 remaining in the game. And now Vikings have it at the top of the key with Nigaman. To Bovey. Over to the right side to Sikora. Vikings in no hurry, doing a lot of ball handling and working on it. To Keltner. To Bovey. To Nigaman. Over to Shipman on the right side. Drives into the lane, lays it up and puts it in. Sierra Shipman with the 2. And we have a timeout being called by the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. 66-15, Vikings on top. And you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
If you have a high-deductible health plan, opening a health savings account at Dairy State Bank will allow you to save tax-free dollars to pay for a long list of health-related services allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. You can use a debit card or check to pay for expenses and access your account through online or mobile banking. Visit DairyStateBank.com to learn more about HSAs and online or mobile banking. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
I was kind of looking for J.C. Bovey to come into the game, and Dan says she's not here tonight. Well, that's a good reason why we haven't seen her in the lineup tonight. Hilltoppers with the ball at the top of the key. Feed it down into the lane to Devin Olsen, and the shot goes up no good. Rebound taken down by Nigaman, and we're going to get Nigaman with throwing an elbow. She didn't get away with it this time. That's the second foul on Nigaman. So to inbound the ball is Jenna McCarthy for the Hilltoppers. Under 4 minutes remaining. Ball comes in, hits the back of the backboard. Ball's loose on the floor. We have heads bumping into each other, and the Vikings come away the ball. Long pass down to Shipman. Puts it up, and she got fouled from behind. And she got fouled by Kylie Oman. So Sierra Shipman to go to the line. Shooting 2. She actually was a little bit further under the basket than she wanted to be. That foul may have been a blessing for Shipman. First shot is up. No good. And the second shot is up off the front of the iron. No good. Davis with the rebound, and down the floor comes Jenna McCarthy on the dribble for the Hilltoppers. Tries to feed it over to the left side. We're going to get a whistle and a foul. I think it's going to be on Shipman. It is. Sierra Shipman with the foul. That's her first personal. Third team foul on the Vikings. Ball comes in, goes off of Keltner and out of bounds. So the Hilltoppers will maintain possession.
Ball comes in and driving into the lane. Shot goes up. Nothing there. Goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Vikings. That was Blazer, Michaela Blazer, trying to go up with it. And inbounding the ball to Blazer. And then we're going to get a whistle and a foul. I think it's going to be on Keltner. It is. It's her first personal. 4th team foul on the Vikings. So, ball comes into Loggy, and then back to McCarthy. Back out high to Michaela Blazer. Drives to the top of the key. Gets it over to Loggy. Then feeds it over to the left side. Davis has it. Takes it into the lane. Pulls up. Puts a shot up and in. 66-17. Under a minute and a half remaining in this one. Very securely in the winning column for the Vikings. Has been since the very early going. Shipman with it. Over to Nigaman. Back out to Bovey. To Keltner. High, wide, and left. Over to the high, wide, right, Sikora. This is one of the things the Vikings do extremely well, is kill the clock at the end of the game. Jordan Bovey with it. Gets it out to Shipman. Shipman on the dribble. Gets it over to Nigaman. Under a minute to go. To Sikora. Back over to Bovey. Bovey over to Shipman. Over to Sikora, down in the right corner. She dribbles back out high to Keltner. Keltner to Nigaman. Nigaman takes it back to the middle and gets it over to Shipman, to Bovey. Over to the right side to Sikora. 18 seconds left. To Keltner. And the ball gets stolen down the floor. Come the Hilltoppers laying it up. And in is Kylie Oman. Couple seconds left. And there's the buzzer. Final score in this one. Vikings 66 and the Hilltoppers 19. That brings the Vikings record to 17-6 on the season, and they end up the season 17-6 for the regular season, and they end up their conference season at 11-3. We'll be back with the Senior Day presentations right after this timeout. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. Alright, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for Colfax Viking Girls Basketball. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Postgame, where we'll take a look back at today's Viking game.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov.
Our senior athletes, they will receive awards in recognition of their hard work, dedication, and outstanding contributions to Colfax High School Girls Basketball. Presenting the awards on behalf of the Girls Viking Club are Coach Courtney Sarrar and Coach Harley Hiddleston. Will the following please go to center court? Number 10, Molly Heigl.
recognizing the two Vikings seniors, Molly Hydorn and Ainsley Olson. And lots of pictures being taken, and now the baskets full of goodies come out for the two girls. Postgame right after this timeout.
Time now for Viking Postgame, with a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Girls game. And now, Viking Postgame.
And we're back here at Colfax High School. Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow. Jeff Gus has been on the camera. And it's time for Viking post game. Vikings come out winners tonight on senior night. Final score 66-19. And the Vikings finished the season 17-6. And then finished 11-3 in the Dunn-St. Croix Conference. And Dan, I'll tell you what, we're waiting for Coach Serrar to come up. Why don't you tell us how we got to those scores?
Yeah,
if
here's
you
the
got
scores.
That handy.
Here's the scores for Glenwood City tonight. They're led by number 52, Isabel Davis. She had 6 points, followed by Libby Wagner with 5. We had Devin Olson with 2, Michaela Blazer with 2, Jenna McCarthy with 2, and Kylie Ullman with 2. For the Colfax Vikings, they're led tonight by number 14. She had 14 points, Ainsley Olson, followed by Keeson Goodell with 12. Molly Hydorn had 10. We had Jeanette Hajdukovic with 10. We had McKenna Shipman with 8. Meta Keltner with 5. Jordan Bovey with 3. Sierra Shipman with 2. And Bryn Sikora with 2. 66-17. 66-19.
And the Vikings had 4 players hit double figures, and they were led, I think it's appropriate, they were led by a senior on senior day, Ainsley Olson. She shot her number tonight, scored 14 for number 14. Molly Hydorn, the other senior on the Viking roster, also hit in double figures. In fact, she also shot her number. She got 10 for number 10. So the 2 seniors each shot their number, and I think that's an appropriate thing to have happen. We're going to wait for Coach Serrar to come up and talk with us, and we'll do that right after this timeout. You're tuned to Viking Basketball, or Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
If you've been admiring the freshly groomed look of a baseball field, or the stunning appearance of a golf course, remember you too can have along with the same beauty by simply calling Midwest Environmental Consultants. Their professional lawn care experts can bring your lawn to its full beauty and appearance. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your lawn the showplace of the neighborhood.
Soon the weather will change and you'll be able to breathe in the clean fresh air of spring. And you know what comes right along with that. That's right, it will be time for Eau Claire Cavalier Baseball. Follow the Cavaliers all season long right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network audio service and NLWN-TV. Be sure to check out our website at www.northernlightwebcastingnetwork.com for our current broadcast schedule.
And we're back here at Colfax High School, and joining us now is Viking head coach Courtney Serrar. And first of all, Coach, congratulations on the pretty overwhelming 66-19 victory tonight.
Yeah, it was really good. I thought we played well. First half we couldn't miss, which was, nice to see. We definitely came ready to play. I'm happy to come out with a win, and, everybody's healthy. So it was a good night.
You also had the opportunity to really work on some of those ball handling things and moving the ball around, and the girls really handled that quite well.
Yeah, for sure. I really wanted to make sure that, our shot selection was good. We really tried to work it around and, try to get layups or inside-out threes, and, I thought they did a pretty good job of that.
So, you finished the regular season 17-6, 11-3 in the Dunn-St. Croix Conference. I believe that's going to be no worse than a tie for second place. And getting all set for the WIA regionals. Your first game is going to be next Friday night against Unity in Cumberland. Do you feel like this team is set and ready to go for the regionals?
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to have a couple days of practice to continue to work on some things, but I feel like we've been playing, our best basketball late, and I know they're, anxious to, make it continue and hopefully make a run in the playoffs.
Well, that could be an awful lot of fun. Senior night tonight, what can you say about those two girls?
Yeah, Molly and Ainsley, they're the two kids that everybody hopes to have as, senior leaders and captains, and, they invest a lot of time and energy into the program and into, everything that they do. So hats off to them, for a great, complete regular season, and they've set a great example for, the younger kids in the program and what to expect out of, when it's your turn to be in their shoes.
And I just think it's really appropriate. Both girls shot their number tonight. Ainsley wears 14. She hit 14 points. Molly wears 10. She hit 10 points. Good night for both girls tonight out on the floor. So they capped it off in style as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, congratulations, Coach Serrar. And we'll see you on Viking TV next Friday. And we will remind you that you should join us on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV tomorrow, as the Viking boys are going to travel over to Elmwood to take on the Elmwood Plum City Wolves in a Dunn-St. Croix Conference battle. Live coverage of that one's going to begin with Viking pregame beginning at 6:50, and it'll be followed by all the live play-by-play action. That's Colfax boys basketball tomorrow night on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. And as we were just talking about, tonight's game is the final broadcast of the Viking girls on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV, as we don't have the broadcast rights to the WIA playoffs. But that doesn't mean that the girls are done. The Vikings will next be in action on Friday, February 24th, when they host the winner of Tuesday's game between Cumberland and Unity. Now, that game will be carried on Viking TV, and our NLWN-TV crew, that's you and me, Dan.
Yeah, right.
We're going to provide the play-by-play action for that one. Also, don't forget that the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV are excited to once again be your home for Eau Claire Cavalier baseball. Follow the Cavaliers throughout the 2023 season on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. In addition, the Eau Claire has a reborn semi-pro football team, the Eau Claire Cowboys. And NLWN-TV, along with the Northern Light Webcasting Network, are excited to be your broadcast home for the Cowboys. Follow the Eau Claire Cowboys throughout the 2023 season on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Tonight's Colfax High School basketball game is brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital. Let Dr. Buckley and his friendly staff take care of your pet. Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley. Anderson Bridges, who've been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's Technology, IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax, comfort food the way Mom used to make it. And Fit Fam Nutrition of Colfax, with drinks that taste as good as their names sound, plus they're healthy. So be sure to thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Colfax Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV. Dan, it's been a long season, but this has been fun. Girls basketball this year, and so we're all done on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Yeah, good thing we got a few boys games left to keep me
there. You go.
Here, so.
There you go. So for Dan Petschow and Jeff Gust, who did a great job on the camera tonight, this is Rick Olson. That final score once again, Vikings 66 and the Glenwood City Hilltoppers 19. You've been tuned to Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network, NLWN-TV, and Viking TV.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Girls game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.